I'm a registered dietitian. I have a PhD in nutrition, and I have a private practice. I live in Nelson, British Columbia, Canada, and I run my practice from here. And I see people from across Canada and a bit internationally as well. I specialize in plant-based nutrition, and I myself am vegan. But I see all types of eaters, although I will say the omnivore clients that I see are usually looking to transition to be more plant-based, and I always help my clients move in the direction of being more plant-based, as we have so much evidence that that is an optimal way to eat. And for fun, well, I'm very fortunate, as I said, to live in Nelson, British Columbia, in the beautiful Kootenay region of BC. We just live in such a gorgeous place, full of hiking, swimming, beaches, amazing skiing in the winter. And I try to take advantage of that as I can. I have 4 children, 3 of whom are still living at home. So I'm a busy person with a business and also a busy family, and I have a beautiful dog as well. So life is busy, but when I have the opportunity to, I'm outdoors, and I'm also very passionate about yoga. I try to go to yoga 5 or 6 days a week. I get asked this all the time, and to be honest, I cannot remember the exact time that I went vegan, but I think it was around 9 or 10 years ago. Before that, I was vegetarian actually for a long time. I originally went vegetarian in university after reading the book Diet for a Small Planet. And I went vegetarian partly for environmental reasons, but also much later on I became fully plant-based. And it wasn't until then that I really kind of switched on more to the ethical issues, and then decided to be fully vegan. I was motivated by the environment, I was somewhat motivated by health, but once I really made the connection with animal suffering, that was what took me from kind of 90% of the way there to 100% and fully committed. Well, I have to say, I do have a little bit of an advantage that I am a registered dietitian. I do have a PhD in nutrition. So I went vegan feeling quite confident, actually, that I would be able to cook meals that I would enjoy. I had been vegetarian before for a long time, so I already had some expertise with preparing like plant-based options. But probably the more challenging part was bringing my children on board. So we transitioned the children over the period of a year. The kids had been omnivorous before that, and we went very slowly with the kids so that they felt on board with the transition and, just moving at the pace that was comfortable for them as their taste buds adapted and as their identity adapted. My kids eat a plant-based diet at home and make their own decisions outside the home, and they have varying levels of commitment to or interest in being vegan. But at home, they are fully plant-based, and they enjoy plant-based food. Key nutrients for vegan children include dietary fat. So children, particularly younger children, toddlers, require a lot more fat in their diet than adults do. And this is definitely not an age group to be eating low fat. They should be enjoying sources of fat like nut butters, seed butters. Hummus is a great one because it's providing healthy fats as well as proteins. And also, don't hesitate even to use some oils when cooking for children. If oils are something that you use in your household, you certainly can use those in preparing foods for your children. So dietary fats, protein is also important. We don't need to overly worry about protein, but we certainly wouldn't want to get into a pattern of feeding children mostly only fruits and vegetables. really they do need to be getting a few protein-rich sources a day. That would be beans, lentils, tofu, tempeh. Meat alternatives also are an option if your family includes those. Nuts and seeds also are sources of both proteins and healthy fats. So that moves us to some of the micronutrients like iron, a key nutrient for kids. Iron deficiency is common in children, not only for vegan kids, but actually among omnivorous children as well. So we do need to think of iron-rich foods in plant-based options. Those, again, are a lot of the high-protein foods. So beans, lentils, greens also are good sources of iron. And tofu is a pretty good source of iron as well. Finally, calcium. I do encourage all plant-based families to offer a cup or even 2 cups of plant-based milk to their older children each day. If you have a child who is a baby or a toddler and is consuming breast milk or formula, then you may be waiting until they're old enough, or when you talk to your dietitian or pediatrician, to introduce plant-based milks. But for school-aged children, preschoolers, certainly teenagers, including a cup or 2 cups of plant-based milk that's fortified with calcium each day will really help them to meet their calcium needs. But calcium is well distributed across whole food options in plant-based diet as well. Dried fruits, nuts and seeds, particularly sesame seeds, so tahini and tahini dressings are a good source of calcium, or once again from hummus. Those are really the key nutrients, and I would underscore that although those are key nutrients for plant-based families to consider, they're really just the nutrients that are important to growing children. And, these are certainly available on a plant-based diet. I don't want to give the impression of scarcity.